Oh, hi there, everybody. Today, I want to talk about Echoes of the Atlas and give my first impression to all the changes that are going to be coming up with PoE within the next week. I have not watched any of this stuff, so let's check it out. Here's the official trailer for Echoes of the Atlas.
What drives you, Exile?
Let's check it out.
Is it justice? Revenge? Honor?
Ready?
No. It is power.
Okay, yep. I like power.
We felt your deeds. Felt their shockwaves ripple through the void.
Ooh. That looks
You
cool.
have our attention.
Oh, what the hell?
Now
What's
you
that?
must keep it. Your limits will be tested.
This looks
Break
trippy.
them.
I
Do
want to
not
know what
distort
this
impossible.
is.
And the Atlas
Katava,
will
yeah.
follow.
A brutal what the hell? What are they doing? What is going on here? Rework Descendancies, about time. I want to know how they're doing Harvest. Okay, so it looks like Heist is going core. So the League is called Ritual. So... oh, this looks fucky. Oh, what the hell is going on?
The stars
I want to know what this
themselves will
is.
bear
That looks the
silent
most
witness.
interesting.
How far will you bend before you break?
Wow. Okay. So real quick. Easily the thing that interests me the most is this like arena type thing. I would love to know what the hell is going on here. That looks super sick. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff there. So again, it's coming out in less than a week now. So Echoes of the Atlas. In Path of Exile, Echoes of the Atlas, you'll gain even more control over your endgame Path of Exile experience by specializing each region of your Atlas with its own passive tree. Crafting Watchstones to refine your rewards, selecting up to 10 map bosses to face simultaneously, and challenge the Atlas's new pinnacle boss, the Maven. Alongside this endgame content, you'll perform dangerous and rewarding rituals in the action-packed Ritual League, explore 19 improved ascendancy classes, and discover powerful new items and much more. Okay, well let's see, what do we got here? Ooh, that's a long one. Let's see if I can just watch a little bit of this just to get an idea of what I'm working with here.
Beware what you ask,
Let's see here.
nomad.
That looks cool.
Curiosity is a charming trait until it is not. Curiosity. Information will be volunteered, not coerced. It will
This
create
looks
more
super cool.
questions
I
than
like that
answers.
character.
When at last their shadow is cast upon the firmament, it will take more than you can possess to bind and silence the screams within your mind.
As far as just like aesthetically, I think this looks really cool.
Hi, I'm Chris
Okay,
Wilson
so
from Grinding Gear Games.
I'm not gonna
Thank
go
you so-
too into that right now because that is a lengthy one. But so we have the Maven. When the Elder was sealed, entities far beyond the borders of the Atlas of Worlds took note and turned their attention in our direction. The first such visitor is an entity called the Maven. She is hungry to witness your fight for survival against the Atlas's most dangerous foes. Accept her challenge to put your talents and mortality to the test. Should you prove worthy, she will offer you a taste of her vast power. Prove your mettle. By slaying 3 map bosses in the Maven's presence, you'll earn an invitation to her realm where she will request that you defeat these bosses simultaneously. Having demonstrated your strength, she challenges you to defeat 4 bosses, then 5, then 6, and finally 10 at the same time. Only then can you take on the new pinnacle boss of the Atlas, the Maven herself. Which, just out the gate without saying anything else, the fact that they are seeming to incorporate bossing as like a huge part of the game, I think is awesome. I love bossing. I think bossing is great. I'm super looking forward to that. I wonder how the bosses are decided. Does it? Yeah, it doesn't say how it's determined what bosses get put in yet. So that's what the arena is, though. That's super cool. It's literally just gonna be bossing. Dude, that's gonna be intense. Ooh, I'm looking forward to that. So unlock Atlas passive trees. Take control of your Atlas by unlocking regional passive trees, which augment the content you encounter and rewards you receive while exploring these regions. So let's see here. Up front, that's just a lot to take in. I kind of wish they would have made it like maybe just in the center, a passive tree for the whole thing. This looks a bit much to me. Let's see here. So this is for Glennock Cairns. So coming out the bottom here, we have Scent of Blood. Slaying enemies close together in areas has a 3% chance to attract monsters from beyond. And then leading, left and downward, Torn Veil. Powerful beyond demons require one fewer portal to summon in areas beyond portals and areas that have 100% increased merging radius. And then going up, we have Monumental. Areas have 10% additional chance to contain a Legion encounter. That's sweet. Face to face, Legion encounters in areas are 100% more likely to include a general. Legion encounters with a general in areas have both generals. Legion generals in areas drop 100% more timeless splinters. Okay. And then on that same branch, going up to the right, Protracted Battle. Legion encounters in areas have 50% increased duration, and Legion monsters in areas take 50% increased damage while in stasis. Okay. And then going up right, we have cultural advancement. Incursion monsters in areas are at least magic. Interesting. And that's just it. Interesting. And then we come just straight right. Resource reallocation. Killing non-resident architects in areas has a 50% chance to add an additional upgrade tier to the surviving architect's room. Then continuing up further from that, contested development. Killing resident architects in areas adds their upgrade tier to the surviving architect's room. And then last one is coming down right. Twice tempted. Areas contain an extra strongbox. Strongboxes in areas have a 10% chance to be openable a second time. Interesting. And tamper proof. Strongboxes in areas are corrupted. Strongboxes in areas are at least rare. So this is very interesting. Based off of the other image, it looks like every zone has a different passive tree. So that makes me wonder if you can decide which passive tree goes where, or if each one just has its designated one and that's it. I'm also very curious to see if the Conquerors, it looks like the Conquerors are completely gone, even though like the symbols are still here. The fact that we don't see anything on the left for like map completion or progression. I'm also curious how the Watchstones fit in now. I'm very curious how overall Atlas completion towards endgame works. Because like I don't see, obviously these passive trees are huge, but I don't see any watchtowers. So I'm not sure what exactly is happening here. So based on the fact that the top here they have the different zone names of the different passive, the fact that they included the zone name makes me think that each of these passive trees is unique to the zone, which I find very interesting. I hope that's not the case. We'll have to see. I'm also curious how many points we will get per passive for the Atlas. Like, is it a global? Like, they still have the 8 here in the center, which is Awakener 8. Does that mean that each of these trees we will get 8 points? Or is it based off of progression in the zone? Like, you can just kind of see something there that looks like it's talking about, blank points left. So I'm very curious to see what exactly all that means. We'll go through the Lex Proxima one as well. We'll start going upwards. So, Bountiful Harvest. Harvest monsters in areas grant 200% increased XP. Harvested plants and areas have 50% chance to spawn additional monster. Okay, fine. Nothing too crazy. Invading force. Breaches in areas have 30% increased AoE. Breaches in areas have 30% increased monster density. And the breach monsters grant 50% increased XP. I like all that. Solid. We're going to go up to gatekeepers here. Breaches in areas have 100% increased chance to contain a boss, which is great. Breach bosses in areas drop double breach splinters. I mean, they already drop a ton, so to have them drop double is awesome. Then breach bosses defeated in areas have a 5% chance to drop breach stone. Excellent. Love it. Super cool. And then within their grasp on that same branch, breach bosses defeated in areas have 5% chance to drop a breach stone. So 10%. I love it. Breach stones dropped by breach bosses in areas, I'm just going to skip all this, but 9% chance to be charged, 3% chance to be enriched, 1% chance to be pure. It's neat. Nothing super crazy, but if you plan on doing breaches and you spec these 4 points, it's a 10% chance to drop a breach stone from a boss. You're guaranteed a breach boss. And the boss is going to drop double the splinters anyways, and then he also has a chance to either charge, enrich, or pure the breach stone. I like it. Cool. Rich veins here going out the left. Sulfite veins and chests and areas have a 10% chance to contain double sulfite. And then they're just going to contain a 20% increased sulfite as well, so people are going to love that for Delve. Sulfite infusion. White tier maps grant 200 additional sulfite on completion. Yellow is 350. Red is 500. Just upon completion. So if you just do a map in Lex Proxima, you're guaranteed, if it's a red map, 500 sulfite. It's interesting. Just assuming you complete it, assuming you actually go kill the boss. And then on that same branch for the sulfite, packed with energy. 35% increased damage for each sulfite vein or chest found in areas. It's whatever. 50% increased movement speed for each sulfite vein or chest found. Again, like, the movement speed's nice, just to get you in and out of the map faster, but I'd say it's minor overall. I feel like a lot of people that farm sulfite, they're going to hit up their 3 things and then bail, or they might run for the boss. If they run for the boss, then having the sulfite infusion and packed with energy will be super cool. As far as these passive trees, though, I want to make a note. Normally need Orbs of Regret to do anything related to respecking passives. I'm curious how they've done, quote, respecking for these Atlas passive trees. If it's going to cost a resource of some kind, you're going to have to sacrifice a map or something, or if they'll let you change it on the fly. Bumper crop coming down now. Harvests in areas have doubled bonuses to item quantity and rarity. The Sacred Grove in areas contains an additional harvest. And then we also have Heart of the Grove. The Sacred Grove in areas has a 100% increased chance to contain the Heart of the Grove. Harvests in areas have 10% chance for the unchosen crop to not wilt. So, not knowing what they've done to truly incorporate harvest back in, I don't totally get what they're saying there. I mean, obviously, contain the Heart of the Grove I get, but the 10% chance for the unchosen crop to not wilt, don't totally know. Then Seance. Up to 20 rare monsters in areas are possessed, and their minions are touched. Don't exactly know what that is. I mean, possessed I know. Touched I don't. This one's an interesting one for sure. There's definitely a lot of harvest-related sulfite and breach. So Lex Proxima is going to be interesting. Discover new endgame rewards. So it looks like this is a watchtower with some sort of bar above it, probably for progression of some kind. Echoes of the Atlas introduce 3 types of craftable watchstones. These valuable endgame items allow you to upgrade your Atlas and boost what types of rewards you find from maps. Players who are able to earn these powerful rewards will find that they are strictly better than regular watchstones. They can be traded, don't expire, and their benefits can stack. Okay, so let's real quick before I read this next paragraph. I just want to take a look at these. So, Legion encounters in areas, 23% increased chance for Americath, which is excellent. 30% increased effective modifiers on unique maps. I mean, the Legion one's huge for sure. Items found in areas have 0.2% chance to have the maximum number of sockets. Interesting. I feel like that's such a low chance. It's not even links, it's just sockets. I don't know about that. And then Voltoxic Sulfite veins and chests and area contain 3% more sulfite. I mean, more sulfite again, always better. The max number of sockets, that feels very weak. Because like end game, like a true end game player, they don't care whether or not an item has max sockets. They're only gonna care if it's linked. Socketing an item is easy, linking it's hard, so I feel like at a 0.2% chance, that's dumb. I don't know, it feels just wrong. Items found in areas have a 0.23% chance of white socket. That can work. Not likely. Maybe like you, okay, so you would combine these two. It just feels like such a slim chance. Like a white socket's cool, but I feel like by the time that you're at a point where you have one of these Watchstones and you've socketed them and you're trying to get them to proc on a good item, you're already going to have so much of your build that trying to get these to work together or even separately be useful is going to be slim. I'm not super impressed with that. And then imprisoned monsters and areas have 10% chance to have an additional essence. Sure. Essences are good. Crafting. Nothing wrong with there. And then another new endgame reward, the Maven's Orb, affects items that have 2 or more influence modifiers. When used on such an item, it randomly upgrades one of these influence modifiers and removes the other. The modifier that's being upgraded is already at the highest tier. It'll upgrade it to a new elevated tier. So, the Maven's Orb removes one influence modifier from an item. Yeah, okay, so it's what I just read. And then on here, I think that life roll is higher. I wish I could check. I don't really have a way to check, but... And then life flask gain 1 charge every 3 seconds. It's interesting. It's an interesting stat for a chess piece. Huh. I'm not super impressed with these Watchstones. I like that they don't have any uses. I like that they don't have any charges. I like that they don't have to worry about like getting because they're tradable. But like, it just seems really weak. At least the ones they're listing here. Like this first one with the Legion encounter one seems the best of them. Because like 3% more sulfite seems moderately weak. I don't know how good a roll that is. And then again, the Essence one, like the odds of getting an Essence thing in the map is already just whatever. But then a 10% chance to have an additional feels whatever to me. So explore 11 new maps. 11 new maps and challenging boss encounters have been added to the Atlas. These include unforgiving locations such as the Dry Sea, Forking River, Frozen Cabins, and Grave Trough. Looks interesting. I like new maps. I'm definitely a fan. Those purple coffins look super cool and super creepy. I'm on board with it. No complaints here. That motherfucker looks creepy. Holy crap. That looks awesome. So that's just good for the game. Again, new maps, new content. Love it. So then we have actual league information. So play the Ritual League. Twisted spires of flesh, blood, and sinew now stand scattered across Ray-class landscape. Their origins and purposes unknown, they seemingly have a hunger for blood and death and are willing to ritually reward those who can sate it. Ritual is a combat league that pits you against both the arcane powers of the Ritual Altar and escalating waves of monsters, enclosed within a ritual circle. Each successive ritual in an area is harder and offers better rewards. So it looks like this giant thing here is the altar. I see down here by my experience bar a 190. I don't know exactly what that is, if that's how many the person has killed or how many things you can kill. Let's see the next image. So like this one shows 469, so it's probably how many things you have killed within the ring. Let's see. Last one. So it looks like there are bosses for... Oh, the altar is in the boss room. That's a trip. That's a map boss. Okay. Very interesting. I have no complaints with this. Sounds like a fine league mechanic. I'm curious to see, okay, here we go, as I was just about to mention, what the rewards are for doing the ritual. As you slay monsters during a ritual, you will earn tribute, which can be spent on a variety of seductive items and rewards. Among these rewards, You may be offered new ritual-based types, which pair very powerful implicit mods with challenging drawbacks. You can consume some tribute to reroll the rewards offered or defer selected ones until later. So we have these Storm Rider boots, 1 to 6 added attack lightning damage per 200 AC. You have 25% less AC. It's fine. You have the Penitent Mask, which is an armor evasion base, 21% increase effect of Fortify on you. You are crushed. Crushed lowers physical damage reduction by 15%. I could see that working out. I could get behind that. And then Nexus Gloves. So these are ES based, 30% reduced max mana, 29% chance when you pay a skill's mana cost to gain that much mana. Oh, interesting. Okay, so they don't show anything else. Wait, so you have 2,312 tribute remaining, and it says 1 ritual remaining, defer item. So it'll be interesting to see how all of this, as far as like a crafting perspective, works out. I'm not totally sure. Enhance your rituals. In the endgame, you can obtain tradable ritual vessels, which allow you to itemize the monsters from a ritual. You can place up to 4 vessels in the map device, alongside a map to add their monsters to the rituals present in the map, substantially increasing both the difficulty and rewards of those rituals. Vessels also substantially increase monster density, which can be very rewarding in maxed out maps that have mechanics like Beyond and Delirium. Ooh, baby. So the fact that they're mentioning Delirium there makes me hope that Delirium is still on the Atlas as like part of your crafting. You can pay Chaos for Delirium. That would make me very happy. I hope that's still in the game like that. Let's see. That number is really big. So that's probably just your total. Okay, so that's your tribute remaining. That's just... Oh, I wonder if you can use that to like essentially buy items in this window. There's a Headhunter in there. There's 4 Exalts in there. A 5 Linked Axe. A bunch of bullshit currency no one cares about. A map. A Hydra map. Yeah, I don't know what it means when it says defer item. Like the fact that the Headhunter is grayed out. Does that mean that this person got a Headhunter? Did they like defer item to get the Headhunter? I don't entirely know what's going on there. There's a small Katava in the circle. Wow, okay. That bear with the spikes looks dope. This little blue guy here looks sick. And then whatever this like hunter dude with the bow. Cool looking enemies. I dig it. And it's all within the ritual circle. Now the vessels. Stores the monsters slain for the first time from a completed ritual altar for future use. And then the other one... Blood-filled vessel, Guardian of the Phoenix. Oh, okay. So you put this into a map. You take the ritual vessel, you put it into a map, and then you pull that out when you complete your map. And then it becomes like this. So this has monsters from the Guardian of the Phoenix map. Interesting. I wonder how will gain rewards by doing it like that. It's very interesting. So experience new power. In addition to numerically rebalancing every ascendancy, we've substantially reworked the Deadeye, Inquisitor, and Elementalist. The aim of these reworks has been to redistribute power within each ascendancy passive tree so that there are plenty of new ways to build powerful Path of Exile characters. Hallelujah! I've been wanting this for so long. So long. My god. I hope they did well. There's going to be a lot of balancing. There's going to be a lot of reworking. This is going to be a tough league for GGG, but I'm so happy they did this. I'm so happy they went down this route. Let's see here. So a Cultist. So it's still curse-based. You know, you can apply additional curse. 50% increased effective curses. Enemies you curse have malediction. They deal 10% reduced damage to taking 10% increase. So let me pull up a side-by-side of what a Cultist was and what a Cultist is. Or what it's going to be. Take a peek here. Oh, so it doesn't look like too much has changed. So Let's see here. Let's put this here. Let's put this. Ah. So malediction. So we still have malediction. So it's slightly different. They tweaked it a little bit. Profane Bloom, they still kept that. You know, the Withering Presence, they kept. The Void Beacon, they kept. The Frigid Wake, they kept. Forbidden Power, they moved it. And then Vile Bastion. Okay, so it's actually the exact same skills. They've just moved things around a little bit. Not even a whole lot. All they really did is they put the Forbidden Power on the right side. They made it so that you don't have to spec into Profane Bloom to take Malediction, which is interesting. And yeah, that's the biggest change they made here. And then, you know, like on Malediction, they added the they have Malediction, which this. Oh no, it's the same. Okay, so the only difference here, it's a very minor change. It's actually a very minor change. So when you kill an enemy, for each curse on an enemy, so yeah, they nerfed Malediction. They actually got a nerf. Interesting. What about Profane Bloom? Okay, so that got a buff. Okay, so I'm not gonna go into all the nitty-gritty changes, but Cultist got changed. I mean, they said everything that got changed, but it doesn't look like they necessarily added anything. It looks like they just more shuffled and changed numbers. Here we go, Champion. This is a little more at my speed. We can take a quick look at this one. Kill enemies that have 20% or lower. Yeah, it's the same. Gain 10% increased attack speed. Okay, so that's all the same. You've killed recently. Can't take reflected. 20% more damage from hits. Ooh, wait. That's different. Wait. That's... Okay, no, it's the same. 10% more. Okay, so now a lot of this stuff is insanely... Okay, so they slightly changed Overwhelm. Very slightly. You're unaffected by bleeding while... Oh, so they put all of that into Endless Hunger. Wow, so Endless Hunger, they put the cannot be stunned and you're unaffected while bleeding, Endless Hunger. And then they... What about the Life Leech effects? Is that... Okay, and then they put the Life Leech effects into Brutal Fervor. Oh, they moved these. Oh, they switched these around. How interesting. I will say... I do like the 100% increased max recovery per Life Leech. I think that's very nice on Brutal Fervor. And 10% reduced damage taken while leeching is nice. Interesting changes. Okay. So, I can't wait to see all of that. I love it. Will powerful new items. One of the hallmarks of Path of Exile expansion is its items. In addition to new craftable Watchstones, the Maven's Orb, and plenty of ritual-based types, we've also introduced the Hydrosphere Skill Gem, Trinity Support Gem, 13 new unique items, and a slew of divination cards, which have been designed by our supporters. So let's see, unique ring. Black Flame Amethyst Ring, Chaos Res, so it's an amethyst, yeah, duh. So fire damage over time multi, 50% reduced ignite duration on enemies, 10% chance to ignite. Enemies ignited by you take chaos damage instead of fire damage from ignite. Wither does not expire on enemies ignite. Ooh, Wither does not expire on enemies ignited by you, and 25% to fire and chaos res. Interesting. So enemies ignited by you take chaos damage instead of fire damage. So I wonder if that is a form of conversion. If the fire damage multi gets converted to chaos damage multi. Interesting ring. Legacy of Fury Wormscale boots. They're armor ES boots. They're a negative on res. They got great movement speed, T2 movement speed. Drop Scorched Ground while moving, lasting 4 seconds. 37% increase effect to Scorch. So Scorched enemies have negative 10 to elemental reses. Okay, cool. 31% chance when you kill a scorched enemy to burn each surrounding enemy for 4 seconds, stealing 8% of the killed enemy's life as fire damage for a second. That has a lot of potential to be really good. I'm not the biggest fan of the trade-off of the minus res, and the fact there's like no life on it. This is clearly meant for a life build, and there's no life anywhere on there, so kind of torn on that one. Then Hand of the Fervent. Armor ES gloves, they have life on them. Gain Sacrificial Zeal when you use a skill, dealing you 150% of the skill's mana cost, physical damage per second when you're hurting yourself. And then it hits overwhelm 11% physical damage reduction while you have the Zeal. So the Zeal grants added spell physical damage equal to 25% of the skill's mana cost and causes you to take physical damage over time for 4 seconds. Oof. Oof. That's rough. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Fateful Meeting, it's a div card that requires 9, and it's for a league-specific item, double influenced item, and it's a double implicit corrupted. Wait a minute. So the league-specific, I think, is interesting. Like, so, not knowing what all league-specific items are going to be, like, let's just say these gloves, though. These gloves are the ones we're talking about. So they'll be double implicit corrupted, and the double influence wouldn't work on a unique. There's a lot of potential there. I would say the biggest issue you're going to run into with these gloves is, or not with these gloves, with this div card, is just landing a good roll on, like, let's just say a chess piece. Chess pieces are one of the biggest items that get, I feel like, double influence. They generally don't get double implicit corrupted. Well, actually, double influenced item, it could be a unique. You could have a double influenced item. This is a very interesting div card. This is very interesting. The double influence in a lot of scenarios might mean nothing. The 2 implicit corrupted is the biggest thing, but if it's not on a good league-specific item, it's going to suck, and it's going to be corrupted because it's 2 implicit corrupted. So if you do it on a chess piece, you're going to have to pay an arm and a leg to 6-sock and 6-link it. Interesting. Don't know yet. And then this 2 div card, 20 Orbs of Alteration. Alterations have been huge. I like it. Cool. So Hydrosphere, so it is a new spell that does cold damage, lightning, and physical. Interesting combo. Creates a sphere of water or move an existing sphere and resets duration. The sphere continually applies a drenched debuff with a short duration to enemies in its area or those it moves through. You can hit the sphere with other skills to inflict cold and lightning ailments other than chill. The sphere pulses when created at regular intervals while afflicted by an ailment, after moving, damaging all drenched enemies in a large area. Depending on how quickly it moves, does it say anything about its movement speed? It has a lot of good stats in there. I mean, drenched on its own is cool. I mean, just the ailment drenched. Enemies have cold and lightning exposure. Awesome. Not sure about that, though. And then Trinity Support. Supported skills that hit enemies, causing them to gain bonuses while you have resonance of all 3 elements. And to grant resonance of elements other than the highest one in a hit. Not support triggered skills, instant skills, orb skills, brands. Ooh, there's a lot of conditions for this one. So yeah, it's a support, just a standard support. So it hits with support skills for which the highest damage type is elemental, causes you to gain 25 resonance of other elements per second for 2 seconds. Lose 5 resonance per second of each element you are not gaining. So as long as you're gaining resonance, like I said, if you have a build that's running all 3, you shouldn't lose resonance, which is good. And its supported skills deal 3% more elemental damage per 5 of the lowest. And then supported skills penetrate 10% elemental res, while each resonance is at least 25 supported skills. This would be hard to use. I feel like people will do it. I feel like that one's going to be a very interesting one to try to balance out. Okay, so Harvest. I wish there was more info here, but so Harvest has returned. Instead of having to plant and manage your own sacred grove, you will discover portals to established gardens with multiple sets of harvests ready to go. From each pair of options, carefully weigh the encounter difficulty against the crafting outcomes for making a choice. If you can slay the monsters that spawn, you'll be rewarded with life force that can be used to greatly improve your items. So a couple of things interesting there. So it's not your own garden, which they had to do. You couldn't keep it as your own garden. That just was never going to work long term. So I get that. Interesting. There's multiple sets of harvests ready to go. So does that mean you'll always have to have gear that's ready to craft randomly? Seems interesting. And it also says pair of options. So whereas before, it cost life force, you had a resource that you had to work through, but now it's like a pair of options. So each harvest is going to be one or another. Like there's only two options, is what I'm getting from that. And then I'm curious to see how it says weigh the encounter difficulty against the crafting outcomes. So are they telling you, hey, you're going to have to kill 5 monsters if you want to attempt this craft, and 10 if you want to attempt that craft? And then if you slay the monsters that spawn, you'll be rewarded with life force and be used to greatly improve your items. What does greatly improve mean? Is there just going to be another resource where you can just like upgrade tiers of items, or I mean the stats on gears? Like if you have all tier 5s with life force, can you get those all to T1? Can you make essentially mirror tier gear still? Just greatly improve your items. That's a very interesting way to put that. They don't say craft it better. They just say with life force that can be used to greatly improve your items. I'm very curious as to what this actually entails. I'm dying for more information on that. And then we have playing the perfect heist. So heist is going core, it looks like. In Echoes of the Atlas, heist contracts drop from Act 6 and onwards. Rogues level up their skills faster. Markers drop with higher stack sizes. And quest contracts are now dropped for you at the next smuggler's cache as soon as that quest is available. So, several things here I think are interesting. One, I think it's interesting that you get the contracts so early on. When they say rogues level up their skills faster, I wonder if that means we still have the 9 rogues, and then like how much is faster? Like how much time do they expect us to dedicate to an old league mechanic? Markers drop with higher stack sizes, fine. Makes sense, straightforward. Quest contracts are now dropped for you at the next smuggler's cache. That is fine. I don't really see a good or negative thing to that. Unless the quest contracts are gonna be the blueprints. I don't think that's how it's gonna be. So there's a very minimal information there as well. Like, are they keeping the items for rogues? I basically, with Heist, I want to know how much time they expect an average player to invest into a thing that isn't the league mechanic anymore. Because Heist is involved, gearing your Heist guys, getting enough markers to run the contracts, and then you get blueprints, and then you unlock the blueprints, and then you run the blueprints. Like, that's a lot of time invested into that mechanic. So relative to, any of the other old mechanics like, Delve, are they trying to go, do they want it to be like something that you could do for the entire league if you didn't like the current league mechanic? Very interesting. And then there are new support packs, which I think this one on the left looks super cool. One on the right, personally, isn't for me, but love this one on the left. Let's just go take a peek. Love the little imp pet. I'm a sucker for pets. And it looks like it's got a little exalt orb. I think this thing looks sick. I'm all for this. So that is the entire Echoes of the Atlas reveal, other than the 30-minute video. My summarized opinion, what I got from this. I like what they're doing for the end game. I don't know if this means they've just totally gotten rid of Cirrus and the Conquerors. If so, fine. If they're still there, fine as well. But based off of this, it seems like they're gone. You got the Maven now. It's going to be a boss battle royale. I think that's super cool. I think the passes will be very interesting for the Atlas. Like, so here, 0 points left. 0 refund points. So how do you get the refund points for that? We'll find out eventually. Discover new endgame rewards. Like, this is whatever. Cool in some regards, whatever in others. Explore 11 new maps. Excellent. Great. Ritual League seems fine. I wouldn't say it seems anything amazing. Not totally understanding how the defer item works. Like, how you pick what's in here. enhancing rituals, you know, all the new changes. So they only talk about ascendancy changes, or at least rebalancing. So I wonder if that also means that there's more tree rebalancing. I'm sure there is. You know, you have the new items, you have a couple of new gems, and then they brought back Harvest. I can't wait to see how Harvest is actually incorporated. Heist is going core, how they're gonna manage all that. And that's everything for this. So I know everyone's looking forward to this as much as I am. 6 days, 8 hours, and 33 minutes as of me recording this video. So can't wait to see what happens. I hope everyone, enjoyed my first impressions. I hope everyone has a good day, and peace out.